to my channel, or welcome back to my channel, The Sun, where we're always working towards something greater. Today's topic, I wanted to talk about spiritual slumps. So when we're talking about spiritual slumps, this is going to happen to you, probably, more than likely, where you're going to feel like you just don't really feel connected to your practice. You don't really want to practice that much. You're just feeling maybe a little bit just not as into it as you used to be, and what you can kind of do to keep connected to your craft. Because most of us, unless we've completely just decided it's not for us and we don't want to do anything spiritually anymore, a lot of us feel the need to continue to practice, but some of us are really just burnt out. And I think a lot of people can agree that when you first find the spirituality of doing things for yourself and feeling a higher power and feeling more connected, that you maybe have more control over your life and things, it can start out where you feel very connected to that and you are very passionate about it. But the longer that time goes on, the more that you just kind of start to feel like it's almost like a mundane thing, just like everything else in this world. And it sometimes doesn't feel as amazing and magical as it did from the beginning. And that's just natural, that's just normal. The more that people do things, the more repetitive that it seems to feel, the more that it just becomes an everyday thing. When you discover something new, it's new and exciting, but it's inevitable that the more you do that thing, the less exciting it's going to become for you. It doesn't mean that you won't still want to do it, because if you genuinely enjoy doing it, you're going to still want to do it. Just like if you have a certain hobby that you've always loved doing, like for me, I like swimming. I've always loved swimming since I was a kid, and it's probably always going to be something that I'm going to want to do. But it also doesn't mean that I need to be doing it every single day. You know, I don't need to swim every day, and a lot of the time it's not going to be even practical to do every day. And sometimes I'm just going to feel too tired to do it every day. I am not one of those witches that believes that you need to have something in your everyday practice, because sometimes I just think that you need a break. If you feel like doing it, that's when you should be connected to it. But sometimes if you just don't feel like doing it, it's okay to just take a break. If you feel disconnected from it and at the moment and you just need some time to just recoup and relax and do other things, that's okay. You don't have to feel too terrible about doing that. And I would say if you're working with any like deities or anything, just, tell them, like, hey, I, respect you, but I need to take this time for myself right now. Please give me as much time as I need to recoup myself. And really do, just take as much time as you need, no matter what, whether you're working with deity or not. Just take what time you do need for yourself to feel better and more in the practice. Like for me, it's been something that I want to keep doing, but lately I've also struggled a lot with keeping connected to it, because I have had a lot of other things going on in my life that have been stressing me out. A lot of changes, a lot of, personal losses, a lot of just things that need to get done that are weighing on me. And it's been hard to keep up with my practice, because a lot of the days I just don't feel up to it. Now, I will say that, granted, even if you take a break, I think that it is still important that you feel a connection with the craft and that you do practice sometimes, even if sometimes you don't feel like it. Because I've noticed this with myself, and maybe not everybody's this way, but if you get to a point where you are not practicing like at all, it seems like sometimes you can fall into deeper slumps where you just feel even more depressed. And it's okay to sometimes feel depressed, it is, but sometimes you need to try and get yourself out of that a little bit. And I'm not saying that you should do anything elaborate. Just something that kind of boosts your mood. So if that's doing something small, like thinking about things occasionally for gratitude, writing down gratitude things, maybe making a small list of yourself to affirm positive affirmations, things that don't take a lot of energy but can kind of help you get into a better mindset with feeling better about things sometimes. Like, again, you don't have to be doing this every day, but some things that make you just feel a little bit better and more connected to your spirituality and the positivity and a higher vibration are important things, I think, to do. Now, just because you've gotten into a spiritual slump that you don't really feel like doing anything, I can relate that sometimes you're still like, well, I don't really want to completely give up on it because there are still things that I don't want to stop doing entirely because I still want to make progress in my life. Like, I still want to work towards this thing and I don't want to put it on the back burner for any longer. You can still perform spells if you feel up to it, if you feel like you can perform a spell. But I would sometimes maybe recommend in these times where you're having a slump and you just really feel kind of low and like low energy, just to do something of a spell that's maybe more simple, like a candle burn spell, or doing things with like the witch's ladders and stuff. Burning an incense and saying some intentions over it, burning a candle, saying some intentions over it. Just little things that you can do to feel more positive and connected to it at times. Again, you don't have to be doing this a lot. You don't have to be doing it all the time, but when you feel like you do maybe have a little bit of energy that you want to put towards it, do that, because it makes you feel worse, in my opinion, if you kind of get into that slump where you don't do anything at all and you feel even worse, like there's things that you want to, do spells about to improve your life or something, and then you're not doing it, and you feel like you're just wasting time. You feel like, well, I'm not getting this done and I'm not putting spells and efforts towards this at all, and I just feel like a total pile of poop because I'm just useless and I'm not doing anything. And that's kind of how I feel if I don't sometimes. And sometimes I don't know of other people mentioning this, but sometimes I really do just kind of feel like afraid, I guess, that if I stop my spirituality for too long, that I feel like I'm going to revert to my worst habits and let them take over again, to being really pessimistic and just depressed and like not positive at all. So that's why I feel like it's important to sometimes, even though I feel down and don't always feel like practicing, to do little things here and there that just make me feel a little bit better. Not huge things, just little things. Making a cup of coffee and stirring in your intention, making a cup of tea with herbs that have spiritual benefits to them or whatever, and saying an intention into that, and just doing little self-care things, spiritual baths, things that just can help you feel a little bit better, doing some meditation, and it all can really help. It all can make you feel better a little bit, to just get back in touch with it. Just doing little things, because I think we all kind of just feel even worse when we're not practicing because it's something that's important to us, and then we're even more just depressed. So, I mean, it's understandable. It's understandable that you're just going to have those times at times, and we all have lives. We've got things going on. We can't always be practicing 24/7, and sometimes it's just a lot of energy to put in a huge ritual that you have to collect all these herbs, and then you have to do this, that, and the other. Now, I will say, if you want to do a larger scale spell, that's fine. That's fine if you want to. But sometimes when you're feeling in these slumps, it feels like it's a very daunting task to do everything all at once, to like gather it all at once, write it all at once, and I don't recommend doing that anyways. But I have noticed that it really does kind of help if you really seriously just gather things super slowly. Like, I'm not even talking about, writing the spell one day and then gathering all the stuff the day before and then doing it the next day. Like, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking seriously slow. It helps. So like, I'm about to do a spell here soon that I'm calling it's like a protection spell. It's for doing what I'm calling like a spirit rope or spirit ladder, It's basically like a witch's ladder, but it's going to be geared towards protection of negative entities and spirits from entering my home. That kind of protection. I'm collecting it very slowly. Like, I need rope, or string, to do this spell. I haven't written this spell out yet, and I'm planning on just gathering things very slowly. I'm going to write the spell out, but I already have a general idea of what, I'm going to do. So I will write it out at some point, but I still need to look into the herbs and everything that I'm wanting to put for with this. But I know that I needed some string. And so one night I was just like, well, I'm going to go downstairs and just do that real quick. I'm going to cut myself enough pieces of string to do this. And they're sitting right up here in this bowl, ready to go for when I'm actually ready to do that spell. But that's the thing, I'm going to be collecting all my stuff super slowly. One day I'm going to decide to write the spell, and one day I'm going to decide to, gather some of the things. It might not even have to be everything. And then I'm going to just wait some period of time until I'm actually ready to actually do the spell. I'm not going to try and get it ready within a matter of days. I'm not going to worry about, oh, I need to get it ready before the next full moon or new moon or whatever moon if I want to do it on a moon. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to leisurely take my time to get everything gathered together, and when that next moon comes up, when I've got all that stuff gathered that I feel like it, cool, then I'll do my spell then. But I'm not going to put pressure on myself to get it done and be super fast and all these things. I'm just going to take my time. Take my time gathering the stuff. That's what I recommend that you do as well. If you have the energy and you're super excited and you just want to do a spell and you're ready to gather everything right then, get it all ready, cool, do it. But if you are in that spiritual slump of maybe being a little down, depressed, drained, just gather it slow. Take your time. Don't worry about it. Like, seriously, just take the pressure off yourself to chill out and do it slowly. So yeah, guys, that is my suggestions for if you're in a spiritual slump, how to get back out of it. Again, just do things slowly. Gather your stuff slowly if you want to do spells. Do self-care things. Stay on top of little things to keep yourself more spiritually happy, feeling better about yourself. Keep a high vibration a little bit. And just take your time. Take your time. If you don't do this every day, if you don't do it every week, it's cool, it's fine. Just do it when you feel like you have a little bit of energy to do it. Don't feel bad about it. Don't feel bad that you're taking a little bit of a break or that you're feeling this way. There may be another time when you're going to be back and very excited to practice your practice again. And if all you want to do is sit around and watch other people on YouTube like myself or other people that do their craft and they perform a spell, that sometimes that can help you get back into the spark of it, of like, oh, they're doing this. This is so inspiring. Like, I want to do that too. I do that a lot. I do that quite often. And sometimes it does give me a spark to be like, oh, I want to go do the spell now. So, guys, just take care of yourselves. Do what's right for you. And don't feel bad about it. Just be grateful for everything that has been brought to you so far through your practice. And continue to be grateful and happy as best you can. And remind yourself every day that you are an amazing person and you deserve to be happy, and that there's nothing wrong with taking a break for yourself. So I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that you guys can take some tips from this video, but I will catch you on the next video, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.